What's up, everybody? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about Bioware Anthem and trailing into the very real possibility that this is all PR stunt, even the tanking of their game, all of it built to net a certain kind of customer. Same sort of thing happened with Destiny. I think it's ill-advised to believe that it is that 100%, because this could just be another company who had the same problems going on with mismanagement, fucking direction of the game being pulled away from the creative leads and people who had a vision. And so when there's no vision, you end up with Anthem. You end up with Destiny.
Half-baked products that don't feel like a
cohesive
team worked on it.
It doesn't matter how much money is involved. If there is no creative, artistic vision at play, you're going to end up with a product.
Yep.
Right? Especially with, like, Anthem. I could compare it to the new Star Wars movies so well. Because visually, it's the most impressive game BioWare's delivered. Fuck, one of the most visually impressive games delivered in the past 2-3 years, right?
Right.
It's super amazing, like, the movement and the flying and stuff, but it's just hollow. It's wasted. It's wasted in this fucking just empty, shallow pool of a looter shooter, which is meant to be a grind game, but no one's put the grind in the game. No one's put the loot in the game.
Yeah.
It's just bad. All of it's rotten to the very core in this game. And Jason Schreier comes out and writes an article about it. And it appears to be the same cycle. Exactly.
The exact same story, verbatim, as what happened with Bungie. And it's like...
Their engine was bad.
It's the same journalist...
Like that, it's the
same guy,
writer.
It's the same, pretty much story, the messy truth behind Destiny or Anthem. Insert game here.
You have to be a fool to write that off as a possibility. Yeah. That BioWare and EA saw what Bungie and Activision did with Destiny and saw the praise that Destiny 1 got. The redemption it received with the Taken King. The defense from hardcore fans and critics alike, who had raked it across the coals, said that it needed improvement, said that it was not what it was advertised, right? It's still high above all of that, floated above all of that shit, and ended up making money and being financially lucrative.
And defended by some hardcore fans.
Yes, to the point where Destiny 2 doesn't perform to what Activision thinks it should do, because it was based on projections that come from Destiny 1 when the microtransactions were introduced there.
Yep.
The thing is when with Destiny 2, when they tipped their hand and they said that we want you to buy these and we're going to put shaders in them. We're going to put things that you used to get through gameplay.
Change mechanics that were for free and use to customize your character.
But we'll give you one every level up because, that way you're still earning them.
Oh, yeah.
You can still earn them every level up, but we're going to fuck with the amount of XP you get, right? When they tipped their hand with that, they lost a lot of people. A lot of people bounced who had been through the entirety of Destiny 1's bullshit, right? That included an article written by Mr. fucking Schreier of Kotaku.
Oh, yeah.
Right? A man who says he loves Secret of Mana when he was a kid, but the remake sucks because it's the exact same game.
It's bad. The music's bad. It's just
I'm still
bad.
salty over that. Fuck you, dude. The game kicked ass. Anyway, just like I'm saying, he's like, I loved it when I was a kid.
I loved playing it with my kids going down the street.
Then I played it with my bitchy wife, and she didn't really like it so much.
She was like, this boring.
Game is stupid.
It's like, okay, dude. It's boring? Yeah, the first hour. Because I'm sure that's all you play. It's boring for the first hour because it's an old school RPG.
Anyway, fuck him. But it just...
It's funny.
And then there's the engine issues where they're saying there's problems with the volatile frostbite engine.
Yeah, the volatile...
I mean, I think that maybe... What the problem is at the end of the day is you don't need to sum it up in so many words, very eloquently put forth, Mr. Schreier. I think all you have to say is there was no heart and no goddamn vision. This was a game that was built around greed. It was a game that was fucking changed after the fucking success of Destiny.
Multiple times.
Whether you want to say that they did and copied this and tanked the game on purpose so that they could hit this redemption moment when they sell people shit and people say, wow, they fixed the game now. And everyone praises it, and in a year it's cool to play it now. It's good now. You know what I mean? Whether or not that's the case, they fucking dumped a pile of shit into the marketplace, right? And it's the same situation with Destiny, right? But now all of a sudden this article where he's talking about how blah blah blah, it's this, blah blah blah, stress relief. People are fucking stressed out working for Bioware, that or the other.
Can I just say this again? People are stressed out, so they're disappearing for upwards of 1 to 3 months. How have you not lost your job? You're not working for 3 months because you're stressed out and you took a doctor's leave? How did you not get fired? Fucking tell me what laws you managed to bend.
I'm going to throw the benefit of the doubt here and say that these people really genuinely had issues with their mental health and their mental state, and they had to duck out. All right, it's an understandable and relatable situation that happens to every human being and can definitely happen in high stress environments where your livelihood and the livelihood of your family is at stake.
Right.
Even so, this is a problem with management. This is a problem with direction. If people are into the game and the process, they're not going to feel stressed out at work. If their ideas are being implemented in a positive way, they're not going to feel the need to duck out for 1 to 3 months. Right? They're not going to be in that situation. So either way you look at it, Destiny affected Anthem because Anthem radically shifted what it was going to be, according to this, to a looter shooter where you're grinding for gear.
Oh, yeah.
And if they shifted it to that late in development, it makes sense that there's no way to loot and shoot. Loot, pick it up, equip it, like properly.
Oh, yeah.
The way a game would have been if it had direction.
Oh, yeah.
And creative input from people who have a vision.
And the same thing with the story.
You can't just you can't just say to a group of people, this game needs to be this.
Yes.
And then just deny them the ability to make it that organically and have it be their own creation and product.
Yeah.
Right? Like Outward. Outward has elements from so many games. Right? So many games, but Outward is Outward. But fucking Borderlands has ideas from so many games, but Borderlands is Borderlands.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
These are games that knew what they were going to be before even starting through the development process and then the production phase. From what I understand, the production phase is where BioWare does like tons of hour crunching and like pretty much forces overtime. So... And they also say that this was radically changed 18 months prior to release. So you think 18 months, this has been in development since 2012?
2013, something like that. It's been in development for a long time.
For a very, very long time. And so you think 18 months, it makes sense why you get this half-baked piece of shit that like... And from what I understand, it was still going to be kind of like a progression system with a build, with your abilities and shit. But instead of it being like loot that you would get, it was more about going out, surviving as long as you can with your friends, and then along the way you would like get alien artifacts and alien tech and salvage different parts and materials to go back, and that was the upgrade system instead of like getting different guns and different modifiers that would bonus your character. It felt like more of a crafting progression system. From what this article, if this article is, thought to be true. Yeah. Because the thing about this article, too, is it's uncanny the similarities between this and Bungie. It's like even the game director,
reliving that same period of time.
But even the same head people that were there during the early phases of the development of the game quit before it was going into production, right? So it's like the game director, the guy who was working on actually building the game up and like the mechanics and all that shit behind it, he left after they had got done doing the alpha.
They lost the writer.
Yeah, and he was like, this game is ready to be pushed into production. And that was in like, what, 2014?
That's why it could conceivably just as well be not a marketing ploy put forth, but also we could just believe that Destiny wasn't a fucking plan.
But it's the same people who quit. It's that guy, then the story writer, because he was unsatisfied with the final product that they were actually putting into the game. The only thing that would make this more perfect is if the guy who wrote the music in Anthem, after the release,
like sues BioWare,
got fired and sues BioWare because they wronged him in some way. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's down to a T. But the thing is that could be a common factor within the companies, that this sort of thing
happens too. Yeah.
Yeah, like EA is fucking telling BioWare this. They're correcting course to make way with those publishers' wishes. Activision, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or it could have been planned to do this thing where they're drawing in the player they want. I believe that is not outside of the realm of possibilities, because along with the same sort of development cycle pre-fucking release that you saw with Destiny, you also see these diehard fanboys that are willing to come to the defense of this game and kind of attack people for fucking talking shit on it. And then there's people who may have, like, could tell you, like, wow, it's bad, but they had enough fun with it. If there was a substantial update or a substantial piece of DLC to be bought that was critically being raved about, those people will dip back in and spend money on this product.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, whether it's at the top of fucking just, like, lack of vision, lack of creative direction, or they've just got behavioral game, psychologists up there dictating release dates, who will fucking ever know? But all I'm saying is that the games have no vision, and you can tell that.
Oh,
like Destiny, it feels like at the time it was like pieces of a whole. And that, became more evident and self-evident and clear the more pieces you got added onto the game. That even though they were shifted, you felt like, man, this is like,
you see the potential.
And honestly, that's why I will defend it as being like a Souls-like, because wandering around on those planets, there is this great sense of exploration and discovery and like finding things that loop back around to other places that organically built into the environment that feel real, like that feel like there was something there in Destiny that's just gone.
Oh, yeah.
Just gone in Destiny 2.
Well, and it's...
Destiny 2's environments feel like just a slip to the next showdown.
Right.
There's never really any remarkable experience that I could remember. And I mean, we looked around a lot. We went around and looked for all those lost sectors, and those just felt like a mini offshoot that led to a dead end and right back out again.
Yep.
Like all of them. Like I don't remember one that looped around in a clever way.
Or had a shortcut to the entrance.
That didn't feel like it was just a room there for me to go shoot shit to get things. And
to loot a chest and then walk out.
That was the direction Destiny had gone into by the time Destiny 2 came around. And so at best, keep in mind, at best, you people defending Anthem, you people who are there willing to maybe dip your toes back into the water and spend more money on this product that you've been lied to about, that you've gotten fucking in a half-ass delivered, clearly still in development function, like this, that you bought for $60, potentially a lot more.
Right.
If you're willing to do that, the best you can hope for is that it'll be like Destiny 2 someday. So,
which, yeah, that's fun.
But I'm just saying, am I right?
It's true.
Because it's true. Whether it's fucking, incompetence, misdirection, or blatant fucking plan in order to fucking snatch the customers that are going to spend money on microtransactions that are randomized.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Whether it's one or the other, it doesn't matter. This is worse. Like, what you can expect is, like, maybe Destiny, the Taken King, by the time you buy another game. Right? Like, is it even going to get that good?
Is it going to have that much
Like, how much are they holding back? How much have they cut out of this game?
Exactly.
With 3 endgame activities.
Well, and that's another...
In a game that's about redoing activities to get loot.
How many things have they cut out? That's a very, very good point. I think that as the time progresses and as this game ages more time gets going on, they already have their developmental roadmap. We all fucking know that.
That fucking shit happened before it released, I'm pretty sure, dude.
Yeah, so it's like, how much do they have for this game? Because in this article, they're saying, and it's the same thing with, like, Destiny, where they're crying and complaining about the engine, and there's so many different problems, and, we're stressed out.
It's totally what it does is it lays it all at, like, the management's fucking feet.
Yeah.
And, like, tries to make every other employee of Bioware look like a victim. And that's 100% what Jason Schreier did with Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
And Bungie.
But
the true messy story of Bungie.
But the funny...
It's, like, all meant to paint the developers. And that's fine. Like,
right.
I don't have any problem with the people who made it. Unless it was intentional.
Yes.
If this was your intentional product... that you intentionally delivered on purpose that you wanted to happen.
That's exactly that's exactly what happened. That's what's funny is they can sit there and talk in that article all they want. I'm talking about the Bungie article this time, way back when. You can talk about all that, how whether they cut content, if that was just a rumor, if that was just a lie. But then as time progressed and the content updates were released and the patches were put in and the expansions dropped and people were playing it, it actually was proven that all of it was cut.
Well, it was confirmed in the Schreier article.
Yes.
That was written about Destiny, the true messy story.
It
was proved.
He said that they did?
They said things were taken and held for later.
Because in this one, he said that there isn't. And so what's funny about that is we're going to see exactly what is updated and added to this game. Like, how much did they cut out? How much did they change? Like, holy shit.
What I want to know is, when did video games get to this point where this is the norm?
Yeah.
Where this is the norm, where you spend $60 on a day one product and it barely functions.
Yeah.
And there's apologies and victim, claims of the company being stressed out and things. And it's just so hard to work there.
Yeah.
And it's just the management is awful and all this. And it's like, dude... Clearly the management is awful because they're the ones who are in charge of leading this team, right?
Yes.
So clearly they're awful, and I'm 100% that these developers delivered exactly what was wanted, okay? Now whether it's to their expectation or not, it don't matter. The fact is that these people made the game that they wanted, right? So, like, whether that was fucking, they were like, we want it to be this grand or this grand, well, then it should have been implemented and there should have been vision put into place to ensure that all those working parts fell into place.
Yes.
Or it was just like, we want you to do this, do it now.
Yes.
We want you to do this, do it now. And, like, they say that, like, with Dragon Age Inquisition, with that game being so popular and successful and winning Game of the Year and shit, it was actually detrimental to the company.
Yeah, like
because it's like makes them think that this is a good way to make a game because it worked out.
Because that was when BioWare really pushed the hours on the workers in the production phase, which is like the last 18 months, maybe couple years, whatever the fuck. I'm not sure.
The thing is whether or not this is the case, it's that Anthem has BioWare on the name, on the game. That is their product.
Exactly.
Right? I don't feel bad for them.
I don't.
That's the game they've delivered to the market. They felt comfortable enough shipping. They felt comfortable enough putting their names at the end of the credits in a fucking 16-hour long story.
Yeah.
They're the ones who felt comfortable delivering 3 endgame activities in a game that's about farming endgame content.
Yeah. They weren't worried about their game not being able to survive in this climate.
That's you. That is BioWare.
Yes.
Sorry. You don't want to be those people anymore? Quit that fucking company.
Yeah.
Go find somewhere like 9 Dots or start your fucking own, because that should be the future. We need those people that are legit, really good coders, programmers, artists, you know, the people with the fucking want and drive to make video games. People that are willing to work crunch hours and do overtime because this is the thing that they're fucking love. This is a fucking thing that they're passionate about. Those people need to be at the top. They need to be the ones in charge. They're going to understand problems. They're going to be able to say, okay, this is a solution, or get with these people and find a solution to that problem. And they're going to be able to deliver games. They're talking about how hard it is to have like snowfall on the ground. And I'm like, really? Because Outward fucking did it. It might not look as elegant and gorgeous as your game and graphics wise, but the fucking measure of that game, when I compare it to a game like Anthem, is light years beyond in human artistic driven game design.
Oh, yeah.
Light years beyond.
Even just like on a mechanical aspect, because it gets colder in the game.
Or we want to say that's unfair. That's unfair to compare it to that. Well, how about Borderlands fucking 1?
Yeah.
How about we compare it to Borderlands 1 and its small campaign, its small budget, still has more heart and replayability to it than this product that Anthem, that Bioware and EA shit out. Like, for how much money? Hundreds of millions of dollars?
Like, what were you...
What is your problem?
Yeah.
That's the question. What is your problem?
Exactly.
You have no artistic passion being the leaders. Those people are there at BioWare, but they're not being heard. They're not being listened to. Their ideas are being stamped out in order to create this carbon copy Destiny down to a release schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Down to an article written by Kotaku's Mr. fucking Jason Schreier.
About the messy truth behind the game.
From ex-fucking developers or current developers who don't want to fucking have their names revealed.
Yeah, anonymous.
Weird. Same exact fucking article. Same exact fucking situation behind the article.
Beat for beat.
Weird. Either way, you need to stand behind your work.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's like what I said at the beginning of this video. I said, you know, if this article's true, I do feel bad for these people that are on the lower level.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because it must be hell working there. But it's like, it doesn't matter. If there's like corruption up top, if there's a plague up top, it will seep all the way down to the people at the bottom. So it doesn't matter if the people at the bottom are doing their job efficiently, because the people up top don't give a fuck ultimately. But then at the same time, it's like, really? How many rich assholes am I supposed to care about? How many of these game developers who release really shitty products are going to come out and show their victimhood and fucking cry about their problems to me so that they feel so that it's okay? Like, oh, it's okay. Because everybody, it's okay. If you're a fan of BioWare, you're okay now.
Well, the fucked up thing is this is affecting people in a real way. But then you look at like the employees who were let go of Activision, who were mainly in areas that had nothing to do with game development, had nothing to do with the actual products.
Exactly.
Right? Just like they were let go with like severance, fucking health package, fucking, you know,
like,
all of this shit.
Up.
Yeah. And this same people who are now saying feel bad for BioWare, feel bad for BioWare developers, we're saying feel bad for these people. And the fucked up thing is there are people who are genuinely affected. But much the same way with the Me Too movement, when it gets overblown to the point where it's actually a validation to oneself to have been fucking raped, and I have known people like that. That's all I will fucking say. Where that gives them some sort of fucking power. Yeah. Some sort of sick shit that
like
they feel.
Their voice is more heard now than everybody knows.
That is a story I've heard multiple fucking times where I am from. And I can promise you only a couple of them were legitimate. All right. The thing is that when it gets to that point where you're blowing it all out there, where you're not scrutinizing each individual instance, and you're saying that we should feel just as bad for the BioWare employees who were potentially genuinely fucked over, we should feel sorry for them. In the same breath, you're saying we should feel sorry for these people who aren't involved in game development, who are in fucking, you know, just areas of Blizzard that have become overbloated, that they decided that the cost doesn't justify the purchase, right? Because that's what it is this output bringing in what we're putting out to justify its existence.
Keep its live service
they're not making
going.
video games. You know, well, if we get rid of this many people spread across a huge company, sure, when you hear the number like 300 people or something like that, it seems extravagant and huge, and it feels like a lot of people in your mind. Really, when you compare that to what Blizzard is as a whole, it's not seeming to be that huge a number of people that were fired, especially considering you find out they're hiring on developers now. They have open jobs for developers.
They're talking about firing non-development staff to bolster their development teams.
And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe money was not being spent where it needed to be spent. Like in the case of Anthem and Bioware and EA. Because clearly the money wasn't going to the people who had the vision to deliver something genuinely good. Right? There wasn't that there.
No.
This wasn't like when you play Outward where you can tell like this was something people had a passion for. This is something people wanted to see happen. I would say that about Borderlands too.
Oh yeah.
Borderlands, all of them.
The first one.
Even the second one. And then the
second one, yeah. You can tell that these games have a creative vision right from the outset.
Witcher 2, Witcher 3.
Oh yeah.
The progression of those games with the amount of love and care that was put in there. And you could tell that even though it's dated, the graphics and the combat's crazy clunky, it still like has that feeling of like, God, this is a great fucking experience. This is something they wanted to have me experience. This is something they themselves wished that they could experience. Tell me you feel that about Anthem. Tell me you feel that about Destiny.
That attention to detail to keep you immersed within the game. To keep you there. You know what I mean?
And not just for the next fucking endorphin rush you get when you open the next fucking loot box or you get the next gear drop.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's hard. You know, it's difficult. It's challenging. You have to pay attention to other mechanics other than what's right in front of you now. You know, there's situations where, you know, and it feels like when you do find something awesome, like in the case of Outward or Borderlands, it's like, because it was so challenging in those moments where it felt like you had to be really good to pull those things off, it felt so much rewarding to have that than doing a daily fucking grind or a weekly fucking grind or a monthly fucking grind, or all of these sticker books that come with challenges with, you know, intertwined with the PvP, or this or that or the other. These artificial fucking bullshit nonsense, right? Nonsense, that are proven to be fucking nonsense the second you see what other games are doing. Look at Monster Hunter World. Tell me that game doesn't have a better fucking feeling of satisfaction when you finally kill a monster. Right? Tell me that doesn't feel awesome when you fucking solo Nergigante finally. When you pull off that kill solo, you know what I mean?
Oh,
that fucking feeling like, fuck yeah, I earned that, you know, horn. I earned that gem, or whatever you get off the carve. You earned it, man. That was a hard fight. You watched yourself. You got yourself out. You know, you handled yourself. And it's so much more rewarding than this just, oh, well, I did 3 of these activities that are on the rails, fucking run and gun.
I could do them in like 2 hours.
If they're ever hard, it's just because of a number disparity between me and the enemy.
Yeah.
So the scaling on their health is way more than the scaling on my damage.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's the only fucking reason Destiny is ever hard. I'm sure that's the only reason fucking Anthem would ever be hard. Is because they artificially inflate difficulty through fucking health scaling. And damage scaling.
Yeah.
It's horse shit. It's lazy game design. It's not fucking engaging to me.
Which some of these games like Borderlands has that, you know? Yeah. The difficulty is literally just bigger monsters, right? That have more health and they do more damage, right? And you're doing less damage. But the difference there is that happens after the deep character progression system, of which there is just you versus the AI. So there is no this, oh, we need to balance it for PvP. No.
Well, plus the enemies behave in different ways.
Yeah, but it's all about overpowering yourself, getting to that level of like, oh, you're a badass? Well, I'm a badass too. Let's fucking see how this plays out.
It's a more intricate climb than just simply, oh, well, I did 3 fucking strikes today, so now I get an upgrade. So now my number is 1 fucking closer to being higher, so I can do better damage against these enemies.
Which I need 150 more levels of
and
numbers.
Take less damage, you know.
To get up there to that level.
So, overall, I would have to say that my thoughts on Anthem and this whole cycle is enough's enough. Like, there's no reason that anyone should ever be burnt by a game like this. Just wait, you watch a review. If you really still want to play it, go rent it. Pirate it. Fuck it. Fuck them.
Oh, yeah. But it's sad that they...
At this point, when they're doing things like this, I know, it's sad to say.
It's sad to think that they weren't worried about the survival of this game. Because it's a live service game, right? So they're going to fund it, right? Are they going to fund it? It's a live service looter shooter. You gotta think that they're gonna fucking fund it. It's their Destiny clone, Jesus Christ, right? So how are they gonna fund it? You know what I mean?
Well, that's why it's very suspicious that there's only 3 endgame activities. Get real.
Exactly.
Get real. In a game this huge... Like, how do you not have just, like, endless fucking activities, man?
Exactly.
How do you not just... I mean, this is what it is. You're supposed to have things for people to do at the end of the day. Like, what is your problem?
And there is nothing there in Anthem. Like, and that's why it's like...
Like, Outward has us... We have cleared every location in Outward, and yet right now we're still running around farming gear... or farming materials to make these specialized armor sets that each blacksmith in each city can make you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's just one thing. There's so much more.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the problem. Is if this company with these amount of people, with this amount of money, make a better overall experience for the gamer. Right? Relative to what they had to work with. Right? Because I'm sure if you give these people fucking money, you're going to have Dark Souls 3 level smoothness in the combat. Right? Like, they will give that to you if they have the money to throw at these sorts of things.
And not just money, but people.
Yeah.
Let's
people
just throw
who
it out
are
there.
just as driven as them, passionate about this hobby.
Yes, but
passionate about this.
Exactly, but talented as well. Because let's be honest, more people who know their shit, who have a passion for video games, going in on a project, are going to smooth that shit out, are going to have the mechanics worked out to the level design, have them all intertwined, make sense with the story. These are the elements that make a good video game. Yeah, and so it's like, you see these small teams do this, and you just think, man, I want them to have more money, and I want them to have, like, 500 more people in their fucking studio working with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the way it should be. If these money men want to make money, they need to fucking understand that you can make money selling a good product and having an experience that people will remember, dude. Look at and I hate to say it all the time, but Witcher 3, I think it's an important comparison because it had a very big budget. It had a well-known developer or publisher behind it that tends to fuck up projects, if we're to believe that Warner Brothers is responsible for all the problems Monolith faced with Shadows of War, as if they are in no way responsible for any of those things in that game. It's all put on WB. Well, I think that it's important to use Witcher 3 as an example. That's why I always draw back to it. Plus, it's just a massive experience with this very real sense of discovery and exploration intertwined with the questing, with the, you know what I mean? Not just great RPG feel of like, I mean, I can't even explain it. It's just fucking something I'd have to actually sit down and think about and articulate better.
Right.
But there's that feeling to one of those games, right? And when you have just as much money as that company, if not more, and you're BioWare, who has these experiences, being able to... I mean, people didn't like the fucking driving around on planets in Mass Effect 1. That was one of my favorite parts of the game. Just driving around in the Nomad, I think it was what it was called. I can't remember exactly, but that was one of my favorite parts of the game. And I felt disappointed as fuck come Mass Effect 2 when it was turned into a simple, like, scan planet and mine and, like, shoot things at it mini game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I fucking loved that exploration in Mass Effect 1. That was one of my favorite parts of the game. Sure, the planets were samey and sort of never really had anything amazing on them.
Right.
But it was fun, that sense of, like, fucking, I'm in space and, like, I'm able to land on this planet and get out and explore, intertwined with this great RPG story, this very well-crafted narrative that felt, you know, very good and thought out, and this world that had, you know, all of these informations in the menu about all the science and things, this inane details that, you know, are just, like, you could tell people gave a shit. The same company, with the same amount of money, with the same amount of resources, if not more, delivers Anthem, then what the fuck is their problem? What the fuck is their problem?
What is their problem?
I don't know. I don't know at the end of the day.
I don't
care,
either.
but I know that it's easy to avoid being caught up in this situation at all.
Yeah.
Just don't buy their fucking games until you watch a review.
Exactly.
The second you would have heard this game that had been announced as looter shooter, that was promised to have all of these features, all of these things, the second you heard that it had less endgame content than Destiny 1 at launch, a worse loot system than Destiny 1 at launch, a worse, like, basically everything.
A worse everything. Seriously. Less content.
I mean, I guess you can't say the story is worse because that's completely subjective from one person to another.
Yeah,
and I haven't played or experienced the story.
From what I understand, at least there is a story.
Yeah, and it felt like people tried,
but it was like very contrived.
But either way, at the end of the day, it didn't focus on that enough to warrant it being that thing.
Exactly.
They put all the focus on this online element, run out, gear farm,
co-op
shoot
experience,
shit, looter shooter,
trying
bullshit.
to shift it from what it was originally trying to be into that Destiny
and
clone.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. And you got people who really didn't want to make that sort of game all of a sudden put on with the situation that this is the game that we have to make.
Yep.
But if you watch one review, you're gonna know, like, fuck that game. I'm not gonna buy it. I want to spend my money on that. There's no reason.
There's no reason.
Buy games on word. I love Borderlands. Right? I love Borderlands. Fuck that game until I see a review from Joe, Carrick, fucking, and GG Man.
Oh yeah, Borderlands 3.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna buy that shit day one.
Yeah, if all three of those dudes play that game, they're like, it's not bad. It's pretty good. I'll get it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is you gotta wait.
And I'll get the same goddamn game.
You gotta wait.
I'll get the same goddamn game. I might not get cool golden guns.
Yeah.
But, oh, fuck me. I guess I'll fucking just have to live with that fucking horrible reality. I don't have golden gun skin.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm James Bond or some shit. I can give a fuck about a golden gun.
Yeah, the pre-order bonuses or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's like 20 extra bucks, like $80
It was
purchase.
the same exact one for Battleborn. We bought that the night before it was releasing because we had played I fucking still, I don't care. I'm glad I bought that game. Looking back, I still would have bought it. I still would have bought it.
Well, that's the thing, and the reason
because
why
it had that
is
fucking
because
feel.
You could tell the people who worked on that from the ground up, right? We're going into it like we're gonna make a MOBA with like tower defense and champion shooter elements.
And there was a lot of personality in the characters.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of personality in the story. It was Gearbox.
It was Gearbox style, legit.
Yeah.
But that's like from a mechanical standpoint, as far as what you do in the game and how you progress and how like each match is separate.
Same problems. It had similar problems.
But you knew exactly what you were getting into. That's why I don't regret that purchase at all. Is because I love
MOBAs.
Yeah.
I love MOBAs.
I love MOBAs.
Once fucking Battleborn, I played Battleborn. I haven't been able to get into another
It's like
MOBA.
a first-person shooter MOBA.
I've tried. I've played.
It's like, what?
I went back to League for a minute. I played Smite for a minute. I played fucking. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't play fucking MOBAs unless I'm playing the fucking Battleborn, that first person MOBA. And when I play Battleborn, I just feel like it's lacking and I want more out of it.
Yeah, you want them to be still working on it.
I feel like it's lacking and I want more out of it, but
you wanted them. It's like you feel like if they had released it for free and kept the development team on it, it would be really good today.
yeah.
But
I mean, speaking of them though, there's this whole controversy with them with the Epic Games Store exclusivity and like that whole deal.
Yeah.
And the way we'll do our, you know what, guys, we're gonna end this video here. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done chilling out about Anthem and Destiny's really fucking similar uncanny story.
Yeah. Just fucking greed.
Yep.
It's greed and it's psychologists and it's just people interfering that don't have a passion for what really matters, and that's the game.
Yep.
The game is what matters. It's not the progression system, because the progression system is part of the game.
Well, it's
so if you know
all
what
of
your
the elements.
if you gotta have your game's going to be, it will all feel natural.
Exactly.
It'll all feel like
you
it
know
clicks
what it's
into
gonna
place.
be. Yeah, if you knew what it's gonna be from the ground up, and you just built off that idea.
And if it doesn't know what it is,
and you
it's
didn't
gonna feel like Destiny 2, where even Destiny 2, when they launched it, there were so many problems with those guns and things, like just things that you're like, what are you fucking doing? Like a fundamental misunderstanding of what even makes this game fucking fun.
Yeah.
By them changing all the things that, like the things that will keep you playing. Like, let's change those.
Yeah.
You know, but let's enhance these boring, grindy bullshit challenges and daily and activities.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, when you just look at that, you see what the problem is. It's people who have no love for video games being in charge of all the people who are making the video games.
Yep.
That's what it is. And it sucks, because if you don't buy these games, the company is going to lay people off and people are going to get fired. And it sucks. It sucks.
It will force them into a shifting position.
It's either that, or you just keep throwing money for inferior products that are crap.
Defend them because they showed you their victimhood.
Yeah, because they said that people were... I mean, that's the thing, though, is I'm not going to touch that. Because I'm not here to fucking cast judgment on anyone else's woes. All I'm here to say is when that's always the narrative put forth by everyone, it becomes less and less and less important to people. I hope you all understand that. That's all I could say. Is that the more you cry the same story,
there's a difference.
The less people give a shit about that tell.
Exactly.
So let's only tell the fucking stories that are worth telling.
I want to end it with this real quick. There's a huge difference between in a moment of confidence with somebody that you truly care about, who you've known for a long time, telling that person something that has emotionally haunted you, than meeting somebody for the first time and just blurting it out because it feels like you have more weight in the fucking conversation.
That's
like,
really
there's a
what
huge difference between those two.
Oh yeah.
There's a huge difference.
That's the thing. I feel like if that's the lead that you're going with, it hurts your case more. I feel like what you should be going for is, look, like, these people did care about this game. There was just no direction. Like, the people at the top were saying, we want it to be this thing, we want it to be this thing, and you shouldn't preface your article with all the victim shit. I'm sorry, because all of that shit really wears on a person's nerves, and they won't finish reading your article. I didn't finish reading this article. I tried reading this article 2 times, and I just, like, I couldn't do it.
You just end up being like, why do I care?
I don't care. I'm unaffected by this in all ways.
I didn't buy it. I knew it was going to be crap.
The only reason we're doing this video is Bushnack asked me, and I already knew that people would be interested in what we had to say about this. Because it does, I mean, obviously so clearly mimic exactly verbatim what happened with Destiny 1.
Exactly.
Except to a more extreme degree when we're talking, like, quality.
Oh, yeah,
Because at least Destiny had certain things figured out, like endgame and activities. You know, like Destiny had things to work towards at the end of the game.
Exactly.
There was a very real gear farm in order to get ready for a nightfall. There was a really real feeling of reward from the Nightfall. Usually, sure, there were problems with loot. Sometimes you would get materials and shit.
Random bullshit, but you felt there was that progression leading you to something else.
And it felt like the next time you did it, even after you hadn't got something, it was still easier than the first time you did it when you did get something that you're using now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so that's the, at least it had that. When it gets to that point, I just feel like it's very clear that touching any of these live service looter shooter games day one, even Borderlands 3, even from fucking them, even their game, there's no reason to buy them day one until you get the all clears from some fucking reviewers who are going to buy the game anyway because they've made a job out of it, right? So I know Joe's going to get that game. I know Carrick's going to get that game. I know GG Man's going to get that game. I can watch a review from all three of those cats and be like, hey, seems legit. Let's do this.
Or, not my thing. I'm going to skip.
And then you don't get burned.
Exactly.
Then you find out if Borderlands has shitty loot drops day one, or huge connectivity problems, or they've had this situation where they've decided to cut content out of it, like Anthem clearly fucking did, and Destiny clearly fucking did. When you think of like the amount of stuff that revealed come out about it, I'm sure Anthem has taken content from their game.
Oh yeah.
3 endgame activities? No. It's much the same as like Battlefront 2 is still having these, oh, characters revealed and let go now. All these many months later, all of a sudden Battlefront 2 is relevant enough to hit the news cycle again. And people who have had their toes dipped in may think, fuck it, I might play this weekend. I might throw some change at these cosmetics, man.
I already
That's
own
what
it.
his fucking games are built to do. And if Borderlands pivots, like it may, we saw that fucking system unveil itself in Battleborn with the fucking cosmetic things that go off when you kill someone, all these things buried behind a microtransaction currency.
Yeah.
Right? So we've seen them already employ this fucking sort of shit. There's no reason to buy their game.
At all.
Day one. No fucking reason.
At all.
Like, Jesus. Anyway, that's it for us. Jax
Chubbz.
Love you guys. We'll be back probably a few days with something on fucking Epic Games buying Borderlands 3 exclusivity and how we really just don't give a fuck. Love you guys.